Lost. Hold on, just lost the camera. All right, there we go. Okay. And we are live. Hello, everybody. We actually just had to scramble to get all the gear inside because it started raining. So I know I promised a beach view, beach live, but we are doing our best to set up another camera to get the beach. But for now, it's just going to be me talking as the team up the secondary camera. Nonetheless, we will keep it moving. And of course, thank you all for joining the live stream today. As usual, our Sunday usual, kind of back to our normal time, even though we're supposed to be starting at 12 usually, but we are here starting at 1 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and switch the Okay, we're back. Switch the Wi-Fi, so we should be on a stronger network. Hello, welcome. Let me know where you guys are from. Ocean Gray, Donna, usual suspects. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for hopping on. Hello. Let me know if you guys. We're inside the restaurant, so it might be a little bit noisy. So let me know if it's too noisy or anything like that, or if you have trouble hearing me, and we'll do our best to make any adjustments that we can. We have a short agenda today, but of course, if you have any questions or comments, let me know. We will, sorry about the cross-contamination here, but again, we're trying to reset here from our setup that was outside because of the rain. But so it goes. Happy Sunday, Joy. Thank you for joining. Thank you for hopping on. Welcome, everybody. All right, as usual, I don't like to linger too much. I want to get right into the crux of things, and that we shall do. Welcome, everybody. Okay, thank you, Carmen. You can hear me perfectly. Wonderful. All right. So, hold on. Let me just get my media set here. And we're going to hop into a couple of articles to start off with. One Jamaica tourism article and one economic article. As you know, I love these economy or finance-based articles, particularly the ones that have anything to do with Jamaica. So we got one today, which I'm very happy to share. And sorry again, I'm just a little thrown off here by the reset here. Okay, we'll hop into it. Okay, so the first one, let's throw this on the screen. I can't really see. It says, use Jamaican coffee to bring more visitors to Jamaica. So this Minister Bartlett, and he was at an event, and he's basically advocating for the use of Jamaican coffee, as we know, which is one of the best coffees in the entire world. So why not use it to our advantage? And I'm going to go ahead and put the article in the chat, so if anybody wants to read it. But of course, I know a lot of people are just listening to this live, so I will read it out loud. Oh, got some comments here. Welcome, everybody. Hello, Charmin from Temple, Texas. Kingston 16 out in California. Happy Sunday to you. Rhode Island in the house. Hi, Carmen. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for joining. So let's go ahead and hop into this first article, and I will go ahead and read it, and we can discuss it, comments as per usual. So again, the title of the article, use coffee to bring more visitors to Jamaica. Minister Bartlett, that is the Minister of Tourism. The development of cottage industries to support the production of coffee byproducts, including beverages, is one strategy Jamaica can employ to bring more visitors to the island, says Tourism Minister Honorable Edmund Bartlett. He said that Jamaica is in a good position as a producer of some of the world's finest coffee to tantalize the taste buds of visitors, many of whom come to the island in search of satisfying gastronomical experience. He noted that coffee is the most consumed beverage in the world, with 1.2 billion cups drunk daily, and Jamaica can fulfill a portion of this demand. It is possible for us to develop cottage industries around coffee, and we can bring the players from all over the world in the same way that foodies travel all over the world for this experience, he said. He noted that government is prepared to invest in building Jamaica's capacity to deliver high quality coffee experiences. The minister was addressing the launch of Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival on Tuesday, March 2nd, at the Jamaica Food and Drink Kitchen located in the Progressive Plaza and Barbican Road in St. Andrew. Minister Bartlett said that the annual festival is part of a strategy to utilize gastronomy tourism to bring the world to the island. He noted that 42% of the expenditure of visitors globally is in food and drink. We want to bring coffee aficionados to Jamaica, and that's the whole idea of having the festival. We want to market that. We want to open destinations with that as a drawing card, he pointed out. In his remarks, the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, Honorable Pernell Charles Jr., said the ministry is committed to the development of the coffee industry. The ministry, through the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA, Jamaica Agricultural Commodities Authority, JACRA, we are going to make sure that we do what is necessary to give support to our farmers, he noted. A flagship event of the Ministry of Tourism, the Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival, which is now in its fifth staging, seeks to leverage gastronomy tourism as a medium for diversifying the Jamaican tourism product. Festival activities will be held throughout the month of March to showcase Blue Mountain coffee and coffee-related products, and will bring together local and international coffee connoisseurs, coffee suppliers, foodies, and other interested parties. Among the events are farm tours, virtual workshops, and seminars, a sip and shop, and a promotion of Blue Mountain Culinary Trail. The festival culminates on April 2nd with a festival marketplace on the lawns of Devon House. The Jamaican Blue Mountain Coffee Festival is organized by the Tourism Linkages Network, a division of the Tourism Enhancement Fund, TEF, in collaboration with the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce and the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. It aims to support coffee industry stakeholders, the private sector, and community businesses in the Blue Mountains, and strengthen the links between the agriculture and the tourism industries. And that concludes the article. I thought that was pretty interesting. That, and I'll switch back to me. They have a festival that's around this. I actually didn't know that, and it's pretty cool that they have this. Especially like that's one of our most prized, if you will, exports that we have is coffee, and I'm sure many of you have had, the coffee drinkers out there have had Blue Mountain coffee, and it is one of my favorite ways to start the day here. And I think it's so interesting and also very important that Jamaica is investing, and from the government standpoint is investing and is vested in further promoting Blue Mountain. And it kind of goes to show you, like, tourism is not just hotels, it's not just air flights from all over the world, but it's also the experiences that you have here. And of course, we have a huge asset in coffee, and I think it's just amazing. And also, like I said, very, very good that they're pushing this, and that there's actually a festival that is surrounded one of the prized possessions, our prized products that we have as a nation that's pushing it, that we're pushing that out there. I'm going to hop into some of the comments here. And we have Charmin. She says, thank you. What's the best brand of Blue Mountain coffee to buy? So yes, there is quite a few. I'll just tell you what I personally buy. I think it's called Jabra, Jabra. That's what I normally buy in my home, and that's what I make in the morning. We here at Travelers, I believe we still use Country Traders, if I'm not mistaken. That's the coffee we serve to our guests, and I really, really, really enjoy that coffee as well. You kind of can't go wrong. Honestly, it's very hard to go wrong with the coffee, because we have we have this like some of the best coffee in the world, right? So it's very, very, very hard for you to kind of mess that up. At least I haven't had any bad Blue Mountain coffee. I'm sure that it's out there, but those are some of the brands that I know, and that's what I buy. So thank you for that. Thank you for that question. Kenan says, shout out to the tourism sector. Absolutely. Maxine said, just found your channel last night and loved it. Stayed up watching replays from the UK. Awesome. Thank you, Maxine. Welcome to the community. Welcome to the movement. Appreciate your support. Selvin, what's up, man? Thanks for joining. Oh, you could be a woman. I'm sorry, but what's up? Thanks for joining. I don't know. Afternoon, Balmain. Thank you for joining. Jessica says, some of the best coffee I've ever drank was in Negril. Strong, rich, not bitter. Could totally be a niche attraction. Totally agree. Totally agree with that. I think, and I found, and you guys could agree or disagree with me with this, but like I found that Jamaicans in general, like they don't really drink coffee. Like they don't, as good as it is, but I don't know many Jamaicans that drink coffee. It's really tea. I see more than anything else. And so I just find that a little funny, although I am seeing with younger Jamaicans, especially like when you go to these coffee houses or you go to a Starbucks, they like these like the frappuccinos and that sort of thing. So those types of mixes are becoming more and more popular. That has coffee in it, obviously, and it has, I believe, Blue Mountain coffee as well. So maybe that's the next generation here in Jamaica that are using that, are consuming that type of coffee. But yeah, love the coffee here in Negril, in Jamaica as a whole. Morning, Lindy. Welcome all the way from Oregon. That's the one thing that friends ask me to get them. Yes, I'll agree with that too. It's like, if you bring back coffee from, if you bring back coffee to a friend back home, I mean, they'll love you forever. That's just one of those things that you could kind of just keep as a gift, like when you go back, and people really, really appreciate that because it's just so sought after, especially for those coffee drinkers that you have as friends. Let's go on to the next one. Hey, Sade, welcome. Oh, you like the ones in our rooms. So we have I don't know the name of that brand that's in our rooms. That's terrible. I should know that. But yeah, we do have coffee in our rooms, and also tea, and one of those electric water heaters as well. So that is, I have to find out that name. That's terrible that I don't know the name of the coffee that we have in our rooms. But I'm glad you like it, Carmen. Donna says Wallingford Coffee, Jablum are good brands. Maybe it's Jablum, not Jabra. Okay, thank you, Donna. I think it's Jablum. I think that's the one I buy. I apologize. I said the wrong name. Okay, Natural, welcome. Thanks for joining. Is it available on Amazon? I'm not sure, but if it is available on there, I am sure it is super, super expensive. I know a lot of people who, well, at least where I've seen blue coffee being sold at least in the States, it's like super, super expensive. And even here, it's like really, really expensive. Like in the stores, I want to say it's probably close to $50 a pound for the roasted beans of Blue Mountain coffee. And it is like really, really gone up in price, I've noticed, in the last few years. I'm not sure why that is. This is pre-pandemic and all of that, but it's been precipitously going up in price for one reason or another. But it's good stuff, but it's kind of becoming like super, super premium at this point. Again, not really too sure why that is, but it is quite expensive here. I can only imagine how much it's cost in the States at this point in time. Right, let's see what else we got here. Irie Hour Time, that's right. What's up, Rocco and Lori? Welcome. Donna says Cafe Blue also does Keurig compatible Blue Mountain coffee pots. I did not know that. That's great. I don't use a Keurig. I do. My mom does, though. That's cool. I didn't know that they did that. That's good to know. Good to know. Good to know. Let's see. Shade says, my husband stayed at Travelers and loved it. Awesome, awesome. He dropped off Kindles I sent you. He mentioned my real name, and that is why you may not have known it was from me. Okay, okay. So thank you so much for that, Shade. I really, really appreciate the donation to our nonprofit organization, Negril Education Environment Trust. So that's amazing. And I'm so happy to hear that he had a good time staying with us here at Travelers. Much, much appreciated the support. Carmen says they always want coffee and spices. That's right. That's right. I usually bring back another popular gift that I always bring back is like some small bottles of Bailey's. I know people in my family love that stuff. So I always bring back the adult Yoo-hoo, so to speak. At least that's what we call it that's what we call it in our family. So I say we used to drink our own homegrown coffee when I was growing up in Manchester. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. And then I guess you roasted it yourself. That must be quite the process, but pretty cool. Pretty cool. Right. Jeff says I brought great Blue Mountain coffee from a lady named Georgette on the 7 Mile beach for years. It was a good place too. Awesome. I don't know who that is, but I didn't even know people were selling coffee on the beach. That's pretty cool. Very cool, actually. Okay, Rocco and Lloyd says, visit Old Tavern in the Blue Mountains, authentic BMC, Blue Mountain Coffee, and a great family-owned establishment. I've never been up there. My brothers have, but I really want to take a tour at some point of the Blue Mountains and see where the coffee is made and do the hike and all of that. I'm super excited to do that at some point. Afternoon, docs. Jabra is an electronic. That's right. I have Jabra headphones. Thank you for that clarification, Carmen. Appreciate that. What else we got here? CC, greetings. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. All right, getting a little bit noisy in the background because everybody is moving in from outside because the rain is really starting to come down. So apologize for the noise, the background noise, but please bear with me. If it does get unbearable, please let me know. I will see what we can do about quieting it down. But got babies, we got families, we got everybody here. Yeah, got some people in the way of the camera, but so it goes. All right. Okay. So Rocco and Lori says the Blue Mountain Coffee is available online. So there you go. Donna makes a good point. Best value is getting it locally in your Jamaican supermarket. Yeah, that's what I always tell people. Like, don't buy it at the airport. Your best bet is to buy it at Hilo or wherever at the supermarket here, and then bring it home to your family. Of course, sometimes you forget and you have to go and buy it at the airport, which is not crazy overpriced, but still, if you could save a couple of bucks, why not? Jessica says that's right. The Traveler's Rooms coffee is very good. I just found the one I bought from home. Barron Hall Estate, J.A. Gourmet Coffee. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for the. Now I know the name of my own coffee in our rooms. And Zizi says Blue Mountain Coffee is well sought after in the UK as well. Yeah, Rocco and Lori, that's a good point too. The High Mountain Coffee is also very good. Don't sleep on that either. I think the main difference is that it's not grown at the same elevation as Blue Mountain Coffee. I believe that's the main difference, but don't quote me on that. It's still very, very good. Very, very good coffee. Hey, Teresa, welcome. Thanks for joining. Happy Sunday, Blind Guy, his wife, and their life. Great to have you on, as usual. Okay, great. Thanks for clicking the article. Appreciate that. Okay, got another advocate for Wallingford Blue is a great brand to support because it is a brand started by Jamaican Michael Lee Chin, and it benefits small farmers. Okay, I didn't know he owned that brand, and that's really, I think that's the first time of me hearing that actually. Ocean Gray, your dad was an avid coffee drinker. I am, and so is my dad, and so are my brothers. We love our coffee. And Sanctus rum cream is wonderful. Yep, my family loves that back home, back in New York. Charmin says you pay for what you get, and Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee is worth the dollar. Thank you. Hope to enjoy journey to your resort this year. Awesome. Looking forward to having you. Looking forward to having you here. Oh, and Anne actually, she says she prefers High Mountain coffee. So that goes to show you that the coffee is really good. The High Mountain coffee is really good. It's not bad at all. Very cool. Cece also says the same thing. High Mountain coffee is delicious too. All right. Scooby-Doo says, I live in Harlem, NYC, and I get Blue Mountain coffee at the Fairway, and it's $99 a pound. So basically double the price is what we're seeing here, at least in New York, which I'm not surprised at. Like I said, it's pretty expensive. I thought $50 a pound was pretty expensive, and it wasn't. I would say maybe 7 years ago or so, it was not that much. But again, it just ballooned for whatever reason in the last few years. Oh, Chade was just updating us. Yes, they picked and roasted the coffee themselves, and they used to grind it using a motor and a pestle. I don't know what a pestle is, but that sounds pretty cool, pretty interesting. Hey, Elvis, thanks for joining. Okay, great, Carmen. Thank you for letting me know about the background noise and that you can still hear me okay. Wonderful. And Anne said the same thing. It's cheaper in the supermarket. Miss Mac, welcome from the UK. In June, you're coming in June. Awesome. Can't wait to have you down. Can't wait to have you here. All right. What else we got here? Mr. Info, you can order Blue Mountain coffee from Walmart in Georgia for about $30. Okay, cool. Good to know. There you go. For those in the state of Georgia, you can get it there. Okay, and Carmen just updated us on the name of the coffee guy. His name is Thunder. All right, cool. Thank you guys for all your comments and questions on coffee. So we got a lot of coffee aficionados in the audience here. Thank you all for joining, and thank you for your comments here. Orlando in the house. Welcome. All right, so let's move on to the next article. Unless anybody has any other questions on that, or comments on the coffee situation, and I'll switch back to the rainy beach here at Travelers here in Negril. I don't think you can actually see the rain. Oh yeah, you could. If you look at the table, you could kind of see the raindrops there, but it's coming down not super heavy, but pretty steady. Glad we made the call to pull it. And that's the One Love scuba boat, and that is the dive shop that we have here at Traveler. So if you ever want to get certified, which I keep saying, I think I've said it multiple times here on the pod that I need to get certified, a PADI certification. You can do that here at Travelers, and that is one of 3 boats that they have here. And they do an excellent job, super professional, and nothing but raving reviews that we have from people who have got certified and have done dives with them. And I've dove with them, I think 2 or 3 times, and it's been pretty cool. I really enjoyed my experience with them. All right, got one more coffee comment, I think, here. Hello all, I'm just from Ebony. I used to see the coffee for $50 per pound in Fairway, but now it's $99. However, I haven't seen it for a while. There you go. So we're looking at about $100, and I'm assuming that's $100 a pound. Yep. Oh, look, got some rain in Rhode Island too, and I think it's raining in New York as well. So something must be moving through. Okay, let's move on to the next article. So this is the economic finance article, and this is the title, Investing in Times of Turmoil, and it was written by Grace B. McLean. And I will go ahead and put this in the chat for those that want to read along. And if you're just listening, I'm going to go ahead and read it for you. So this was posted in the Observer. And Grace, the author, she is a financial advisor at BPM Financial Limited. And at the bottom of the article, it has her contact information. I do not know Grace. I never met her, but this article was brought to my attention. And I'm just reading here. She also has a podcast for Living Above Self. So pretty cool. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that in there. So make it easier for everybody. If for whatever reason you want to reach out or maybe take a listen of our podcast, I will do the same. But I thought what she was saying in this article was pretty interesting, and I will go ahead and zoomed in a little too much here. I'll go ahead and start reading the article. So again, this was put out today, and the title of the article is Investing in Times of Turmoil. Pre-retirees and retirees have to be careful in times of great economic uncertainty and global crisis, by Grace McLeon, G. McLeon. And investors should not sacrifice long-term goals for short-term events. As the saying goes, don't jump out of the frying pan and into the fire. It's not unusual for people to panic whenever there is a downturn in the stock market, but successful investors know the opportunities are created in times of crisis. The stock market always rebounds from every turmoil, and it rewards the patient and persistent investor. Economic crises precipitated by war or pandemics have implications for pension fund management and investments in stocks and bonds in the short term. Now is the time for investors in the stock market to withdraw from the market. Now is not the time. Now is not the time for investors in the stock market to withdraw from the market, as to do so at this time can prove costly. Losses in the market are unrealized and can only be realized when investors withdraw from the market during times of sudden stock market downturns. Recently, a client requested that her funds be withdrawn from the stock market as there is a war in Ukraine, but history has taught us many lessons of stock market recovery during times of war and immediately after war. It was the English poet Lord Byron who said, "The best prophet of the future is the past." Pre-retirees and pensioners should resist making impulsive decisions regarding their pension funds and investments at this time. Retirement planning is always ongoing, and now is a good time as any to review financial plans. How is your appetite for risk? Investors need to bear in mind that unforeseen events will happen. Financial plans should have a mix of high and low risk instruments. The help of an experienced and competent financial advisor is important to guide investors, especially during periods of economic uncertainty. Most analysts forecast the Russia-Ukraine war as a short-term event, as the war is not anticipated to spread to Western Europe. Therefore, minimal impact on the U.S. stock markets and the economy is expected. A stock market rebound is therefore anticipated in the short term. Some experts even believe that the current war has brought about a stock market correction. This term refers to a condition where there is a decline in the stock market that is more than 10% but less than 20%. This situation occurs when a stock has fallen from its peak to its longer-term performance. Financial experts are not anticipating a bear market, which could see further decline in the stock market and economy. A bear market occurs when there is a decline of 20% or more on the stock market. The attack by Russia on Ukraine has seen the global stocks tumbling, and the price of crude oil has surpassed the $100 US dollar mark. In Jamaica, our local stock market has not returned to pre-COVID status. The Jamaica Stock Exchange main market declined by over 22% in 2020 and increased by just 2% in 2021. It is now time to buy assets that increase the purchasing power of your money. Keep investing, stay committed to your long-term goals while maintaining your short-term and medium-term investments for emergencies and opportunity. Be always mindful that inflation is the biggest threat to the value of your money. The terrorist term 9/11 on U.S. soil in 2001 negatively impacted the global stock markets. Days following the attack, U.S. stocks fell by 15%. So I'm just going to hop over to the comments, make sure we don't have anything pressing here. Okay, everybody's cool. And I'm going to take that down so you can see the beach a little bit while I continue to go through this article. Continuing on, stocks listed on U.S. stock markets regained losses within months. This is after 9/11. The global financial crisis of 2008 sent shockwaves to the financial markets of developing nations like Jamaica. Inflation was at 16.8%. Bank of Jamaica issued money market instruments to mop up liquidity. The local market suffered a decline, but by 2015, the Jamaica Stock Exchange was recognized internationally by Bloomberg as the best performing stock exchange in the world. In 2018, Bloomberg again acknowledged the Jamaica Stock Exchange as the best performing stock market globally. Many investors tend to appreciate the market when stocks are high. However, it is important to invest consistently during the good times and the bad times, as assets are accumulated at varying prices and the average cost of investing is reduced over time. The law of accumulation states that every great financial achievement is achieved by small efforts repeated over time that no one appreciates or even notices. Your habits either pull you closer to your goal or pull you away from your goal. Emotional decisions made during times of turmoil can pull you away from your long-term goals and derail your plan of financial freedom, wealth creation, and peace of mind. And that is the conclusion of the article, again by Grace G. McLean. And again, she is a financial advisor at BPM Financial Limited, and I put her contact information in the comment section. And she also has a podcast. Again, I don't know how good it is, but I think she brought up some pretty good points as it relates to, I guess, the global outlook. I mean, everybody has their own opinions on, and nobody can see the future or has a crystal ball or anything like that. So obviously, I'm not telling you or giving any financial advice here or anything like that. I'm just simply presenting an article. And of course, you should always make the best decision that you think you need to make for your financial future. And we are all in different phases of our lives and our financial goals. Some of us are just starting, and some of us are, either retired or moving towards retirement, or maybe kind of just starting their active financial journey. So I think everybody has to make their own decisions, and I always recommend speaking to experts and not doing this stuff on your own. And these experts, got to remember, they do this every day for a living. They're keeping up with this every day, and they probably understand it more than the average person that's out there. She also recognized, which we've recognized a couple of times on this podcast, I think on the live, and then also with the podcast that I did with German Vancy, who is a personal finance advisor for Sagicor, and the Jamaican Stock Exchange was recognized by Bloomberg twice in recent years for being the best performing stock exchange in 2015 and 2018. And that's something that I'm super proud of, and I think we all should be super proud of. And if you're not, if I would definitely advise you to consider investing in the Jamaica Stock Exchange. And I mean, she didn't come outright and say it in terms of, she was just talking about like the stock exchange hasn't gotten back to its pre-pandemic levels. I think we were down 22% at one point. So we got some ways to go. And if you look at any exchange, especially the well-established exchanges, Jamaica included, the trajectory is always up. I guess it's a matter of time and a matter of how long until we do get back up. But again, we have a really strong stock exchange historically. As far as like what's happening with the war and everything like that, I have no idea. I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen with that or what direction it's going to go in. But again, talk to your own personal financial advisors and come up with your own strategy. I'm sure many of you have already done that. Let's hop into the comments here. Sharon says, when you're close to retirement, you have to be careful because you might not have time for investment to recoup. Yeah, I always think about that. So I'm 37, actually 38 next week. Oh no, this week. Geez, almost forgot. But I always think about that in terms of like these major market shifting events, global events that shift the markets, and where would I be? And it's just one of those things with timing. Obviously, this is probably not the best time to pull out, and you kind of can't really time it, right? And that's what they say you should never do, is like try to time the market. That's probably one of the worst strategies that you can use. But that's a very good point, Sharon. You may not have time to recoup. And for younger people out there, this is like, for an event like this is the time that you invest, I would say. And like, kind of, that's my thinking, especially, I'm in my late 30s now, but if I was in my 20s, even a couple bucks, like I always, I encourage my cousin even, like, to $20 a month, $50 a month, throwing it into the market. It's going to place the crazy dividends, and I really appreciate the power of compounding and compound interest. But like she advocates in the article, is just kind of sticking with a investment strategy and continuing to invest in good times and in bad times. And I personally found like that's kind of the best way to do it. I remember like I really started investing in, I think, 2016. Like my portfolio dropped in 2018, like 44%, if I'm not mistaken. And I kind of I'm not investing anything crazy either, but I just kind of just stuck with it, kind of just put in the investments like I was paying a bill kind of thing. And to me, that kind of just takes the emotion out of it, and kind of kept my fingers crossed that like eventually things will come back. And of course, I'm not betting the farm on any of this, but it seemed to have paid off. And I believe that that's what the author in this article is advocating for, Grace. Eccentric, she's asking, can you recommend a good financial advisor in Jamaica? Sure. So I would definitely recommend German. She's the young lady that I interviewed in my podcast. If you go to, so she's two videos earlier that I had, two podcasts. So if you could go to my channel, and I believe it's called Investing in Jamaica. Hold on, I'm trying to go there now so I could kind of throw it in the chat. 1 second here. Let's see if we can get it. Got a couple lives here. All right, pulling it up now. So I'll throw that in. I'll throw that in the chat. So expert financial advice, investing in Jamaica in 2022. That's the name of the interview, and German's contact information is in the description and also towards the end of the video. And there you go. I'm throwing it in the chat now, Eccentric, so you can click that. You can watch the video of German, and then I'll also, let me see if I could quickly pull up her contact information. Got it. And so I'm throwing up her WhatsApp, her phone number, as well as her email address. And from people I've spoken with, German has been very responsive. It's crazy the amount of people that have come up to me and told me, like physically told me, that they're talking to German, and then a lot of people in the comments and sending me messages that they're in touch with German. I think is awesome. And that makes me feel really good that people are actually in touch with these professionals that I have on the podcast. And it gives me a lot of motivation to seek out more professionals and more people that I trust within my network to come on as guests. And I think it's amazing that you all are reaching out to them and contacting them, as you should. That's the whole point. And when I have guests on the show, I try to do a good job of, letting them know what the kind of feedback or traffic that they should expect. And German was very, very open to that and excited by it. So I'm really, really happy that I had her on the podcast. And we're actually going to be doing a few more episodes coming up. So stay tuned for that. I'm super excited to have her back on. And I know it's something that you all wanted more of, and we will continue to do that and continue to have more experts on Jamaica, investing in Jamaica, doing business here as well, that I think that we all could find and get a lot of value out of it, because I also got a lot of value out of it, because I learned so much from German. I learned a tremendous amount. All right, moving on. Ebony, how you doing? Kessie, what's going on? Welcome. All right, so Ebony says her assessment is on par with what the financial advisor says about the market. Buy low, sell high. That's the name of the game. That is the name of the game. Charmin says, thank you. This is valuable information, and I'm glad you shared it. I'm sure children aren't interested in this at current. Teen years would be a good time to discuss this. Their future awaits them. Yes, I believe it was, man, I forget who. We were having a financial discussion on the live stream here, and one of the comments, I think it was by Ingrid. I don't know if Ingrid, if you're in the chat here, but she was saying she got her daughter, I believe, or one of her children into investing at a young age, I believe in their teens, and that's the way to do it. That's a great piece of advice there, Charmin, is getting people to think about personal finance from a very young age. I think that is incredible. I didn't start doing it really until, I would say, until my early 30s, 32 or whatever, 31. And I was more, and I'm a finance major, but I was more like, it's like more corporate finance is what I learned in school. But still, it just kind of goes to show you, at least from an American educational standpoint, when I grew up, personal finance was not something that we were taught in school. I learned more about personal finance as an adult on my own, more being curious, reading books that I was interested in, and making personal finance a personal priority. So yeah, I don't have any kids, but definitely when I do have children and I start building my family, as soon as the comprehension is there, we will be talking about money. We will be talking about finances. I think it's so important to get that conversation and get it into the heads of our youth as early as possible. Ebony also says ETFs are a safe way to invest. You don't want to do individual stocks. Agree with that. I think that's a great strategy. Right, we got Don Moore. Hello, Throb. Just got back to Toronto and already missed beautiful weather, view and weather. Fair enough. Even though we got a little rain, I don't think anybody minds. Had another great time at Travelers. Was nice meeting and chatting with you, brother. You, brother, father. Come back soon. Yeah, great meeting you as well, Don. I'm glad we got a chance to chop it up a little bit, and really, really appreciate you staying with us and, of course, supporting the channel here. I hope to see you sometime soon, and I hope the weather there isn't too terrible, and that hopefully it's starting to break reasonably soon, and you start getting some warm weather. Well, again, thanks for staying with us. Oh, there you go, Ingrid changing her name on us. Okay, all right, thank you. Welcome, Ingrid. And I believe it was you who was telling us this, right? If you share that information with us, so that advice about starting the personal finance conversation with your children. Thank you for that. Afternoon, Christine. Thank you for joining. Yeah, so that's, that was the last article. Like, again, I thought that was pretty interesting, and I love bringing up these finance articles and diving deep into them. And of course, any questions that you all have about the finance and investing in Jamaica. And like I said, I'm gonna be having more experts, definitely more financial experts, German, of course, being one of them, real estate experts, so on and so forth, and just kind of trying to give out as much knowledge and information as it relates to living here, investing here, and all of that sort of thing about being here. All right. Ebony says there is a young Jamaican lady, Anna Novia, YouTube channel, gives great financial advice. Very cool. I haven't heard of her, so I will make note of that and try and check her out. All right, I think that's it on the article. You don't have to go any further than that. I will leave it there. And Ingrid said, yes, I started investing for my children earlier on. All right. So I guess a couple of other things. And if you all have any general questions, go ahead and throw it in the chat. We can discuss it or start teeing up for a discussion. I hope has everybody seen the latest episode that I had? We did with Irie. So I released it recently. Excuse me. I recently I think on Wednesday. It's starting to get some good feedback. Oh, have some good getting some good feedback. So I just wanted to plug that. If you haven't seen it already, I guess I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat. And so Irie is a young lady. She moved from Brooklyn. She's of Jamaican descent, and she moved here in 2018 and does a great job in sharing her story about her motivation coming down here, and then also just the intricacies of navigating, finding a place, making friends, her social life here in Negril, even though she started in she moved to Kingston initially for with her grandmother, because her grandmother actually had a series of strokes, and that was the initial reason why she came down here, and she absolutely loves it. And it was a real pleasure having her on and hearing her story and talking about her experience being here. And she also gives some great advice as well, especially for a young single woman being down here in Jamaica. And I know that is a big concern for many people. And she again gives, I think, advice, just good advice for whether you're a single woman or a guy or a family. But she just gives some great general advice. So I just put the link to the podcast in the chat. So if you haven't seen it already, feel free to take a look at it and watch it when you get a chance here. And that's on Wednesday. And I'll talk about the next podcast that we'll be releasing in a few minutes. I think we got a few comments here. All right, so I'm gonna hold. I guess let me finish on the channel, and then in terms of talking about a few things with the channel, and then I'll hop into the comments. And so just continue to throw in your questions and comments into the comment section, and I'll get to them as soon as I finish up the channel updates. So the next video, and I know, I feel like I shouldn't do this, but last week I promised that we're going to be dropping last Sunday when I came in from New York. I was like, oh, we're going to have the next video tomorrow, which would have been a Monday, but we had some crazy technical issues and it didn't work out, and we were released on Wednesday. So the video I want to release tomorrow. I'm going to make sure that we export and upload today so we can release it tomorrow. And fingers crossed we don't have any more technical issues, but I need a new computer. I'm actually ordered it already because this is a kind of an old computer that I have, but it's still doing well. No complaints as far as that concerned, but it does take some time and we do have some glitches with that. But anyway, I did an interview. I don't know if you guys know who this young lady is. This is Deezer. So she has her own YouTube channel called That Me Say TV. And if you guys know her, let me know in the comments. And we did a bit of a collaboration a few weeks ago, and she came by the hotel with her partner, Outlaw. And if you guys follow her, you guys know who Deezer is. And of course, you know who Outlaw is. And we had just an awesome time just chopping it up. And that's Outlaw all the way on the left. And super happy to share the conversation that we had. So her channel is That Me Say TV. I'll throw it in the comments. And she basically explores Jamaica, and she's originally from the UK and brings a tremendous amount of value of what it's like to visit different parts of the island. And then she does also a lot of real estate videos as well. So if you're interested in learning about real estate, learning about buying land, the cost of these things, her channel is a great resource for that. And again, hopefully tomorrow we will be releasing that video, as long as we don't have any technical glitches. But I aim to be releasing it, I believe, at 1 or 3 o'clock Eastern. But if you don't have post notifications on, please hit the notification bell, just to make sure that when we do release it, that you do see it, that you do see it up there when we do release it. And of course, I love doing the premieres as opposed to just releasing it and having a chat while we're all watching it for the first time. Well, at least you guys are watching it for the first time live. And so that's my interview. It will be released this week with Deezer, and then also Outlaw makes a a cameo as well. So that's this week's podcast. Okay, awesome. Okay, and Tony says, I am familiar with Deezer. Yeah, she's really good YouTuber, Jamaican YouTuber. Does a lot of great content there. All right. Okay, let's get into some of these comments. Just scrolling up, I saw some earlier. All right. Okay, so blind guy, his wife, and their life. The video you had on the Jamaican stock market was so informative. The financial experts are always appreciated. Does your hotel business have investment opportunities? Not right now. We do. Well, thank you for the comment, and then thank you for watching that video with German blind guy. Appreciate it. But we don't have any investment opportunities at this time in terms of any expansion or anything of that nature. But if we do, you guys will be the first to know. The only thing that we do have coming up in November, as you guys already know, is the which we still don't have a name for, but we'll call it the Throp Expo or Throp X. These are kind of running names in November, which is more or less an information investment conference that we'll be doing in November. Just kind of, and I explained this last week, and I'll continue to bring it up especially when we do these lives. I plan on launching the website by the end of this month, and this will be the home for all of the relevant information, and you can sign up for the emails. And I got a couple of people who sent me their emails already to be on the newsletter that we're going to be pushing out. But the conference really is centered or based around the guests who I've had on this show, and they'll be coming on as panelists and sharing their experiences and stories. And those who are I should say, just experts in their own right, they will also be there as well. And everything from a banker to financial advisor to landowners, that sort of thing, they're going to be there, and you'll have direct contact, and you'll have the opportunity to speak with them directly, set up meetings, that sort of thing. And the website will also have all of that relevant information on it as well. But yeah, sorry, blind guy, no, at this time we don't have any investment opportunities. And again, if we do at some point in the future, I will definitely let you know. All right, let's keep going. Okay, Don Moore hopped in here. Oh, back to the coffee. He says one local Jamaican to get coffee from his Thunder. Somebody mentioned Thunder, so I guess this guy is pretty popular. He grabbed 2 bags of Blue Mountain coffee beans for $25 a pound. That's a deal. That's like 50% off right there. In respect to when you look back at the comments that we were talking earlier about the $50 a pound that you kind of get in the grocery store right now almost. Okay, Tony asks, good day to all. What is the preferred device to donate to your organization? So you can do a Kindle. I'm sorry, I don't have the exact model. I'm going to throw in the comments my email address. I got a new email address, so I'm going to throw it in there, and you can email me directly, Tony, and I will get back to you. 1 second. So for those of you just listening, my email address is pretty easy, throp@thropmedia.com. That's THROP@thropmedia.com. And then you can just shoot me an email if you want more information on that. And I will get back to you, Tony. Thank you for that. Thank you for your consideration. Eccentric says, yes, she had some amazing ideas. I believe she's talking about German. Oh, very good. People are really liking German there. Ebony says, yes, she's awesome. Miss Max says it was good. It was really good. Very nice. And Jamrock says, I just watched it. Awesome. Okay, T. Johnson says, for people who have invested / looking to invest in Jamaica and real estate, can you recommend or even spotlight reputable builders, contractors, and even property management companies in the near future? Sure. Great question. So there's a couple of different strategies or approaches that people do with this. And I actually, based on my last, so 2 weeks ago, we were filming in Kingston, and we were primarily focused on the real estate boom that's happening in Kingston. And we talked to realtors, we talked to developers, not so much contractors, but we learned about the contractors. And so that was a very, very interesting learning experience for at least for me, in learning about this. And they kind of have different strategies that I was aware of, and also opportunities in Kingston in comparison to here in Negril. I do plan on having contractors that I've worked with, that I've trusted, and I have been appreciative of their work. So they definitely will be coming on. I'll be reaching out to them. I haven't done so yet, and to have them on the show so you can learn more about them. Tons of different individual contractors as well that I have worked with. Some, I would say many, close toast, I probably won't be working with again, but there are a handful who I've had really great experiences with that are detail oriented, professional, timely, all those things that you look for, on budget, under budget, all those things that you look for in terms of working with somebody, whether it's a carpenter, mason, electrician, plumber, that sort of thing. And so I'm going to be doing a series of those individual contractors at some point in time. I'm going to be rolling that out. But then also you got these big contractors who, put up buildings and do developments and that sort of thing, that own cranes and those boulder removers, all those different things. So I plan to have a series of those types of conversations, because I know that is of high interest by many of you. So that's going to be coming up in the future. So at this time, there's like nobody that I can recommend, nor do I have their contact info ready for you, T. Johnson. But please know that is something that we will be focusing on in the very near future. Thank you for your comment and question. Rockman says, suggestion, if you have access to a drone or drone footage, it will be nice to watch some of the aerials of Negril while you and guests talk to and entertain. I think I actually have a drone clip loaded up. Let's see if okay. All right, this was from You Ask and You Shall Receive, Rockman. So this was, I believe, man, when was this? Maybe this was in sometime last year. I want to say, oh no, I have the date right here. Nope, don't have the date. This looks like sometime maybe last summer, I want to say, after it rained. But there you go. That's some Negril footage for you. And I'm just going to keep going through these comments while you watch that. I think I showed this a few months ago, so some of you might have already seen it. But that is looking at the northern part of the beach and kind of over to the morass, instead of talking, I'm like focused on the drone, the drone footage here. But I just want to let everybody know what we're looking at here. So, yeah, northern part you saw Booby K there. Now we're moving over to Norman Manley Boulevard. And yeah, I believe this might have been early summer. I want to say May. So yeah, this is facing north. Let me move the comment. And then you see right there on the bottom right, that is the new hospital being built. I don't know the name of it, but it is being done by a local doctor here, Dr. Foster. And it is much further along than you're seeing here in the drone footage. And this is downtown, so this is heading south, and to the right of your screen that is going towards the west end. Yeah, this is going south downtown, and that's Shields in the pink, and we just passed Travelers. And yep, there's Travelers with the signature blue roofs on our bungalows. And then you got Errol's, and then to the right that is Beach Club. And got a little after rain sunset. I think this is where we conclude here. But yep, back to the live. Okay, you ask and you shall receive. There you go. So I will. So okay, cool. I didn't know you were interested in that, so I'll make sure that we kind of maybe have those teed up, and maybe we'll do a few more. I'll probably get some more drone footage this week, and we can have that on the live for Sunday coming up. Great suggestion, Rockman. Appreciate it. Okay, Mr. Info is familiar with Deezer and That Makes It TV. Country Gal. Okay, everybody knows them. Awesome. I have met Outlaw, Ocean Gray. I love them. I asked them to hook up with you. Wow. Yep, we made it happen. Or should I say, you made it happen, Ocean. So that was cool. African Queen. Great to see you guys collaborating. Looking forward to the videos with that. Cool. Yeah, definitely. Blind Guy's wife at their life. Thanks for the details on the upcoming investment expo in November. Is there a link to the sign up for the email list? No, there is not, because we don't have the website up and running, but I am actively working on that. But you can go ahead and email me at throp@thropmedia.com, and just I'll throw your email on there. So I'm starting to build that list from now. Mr. Info says there is a YouTube channel called Jamaica with Ari. She is Ukrainian that lives in Jamaica, and she puts out some very interesting videos. Interview with you and her would be great. Yes, very familiar with Ari. I really like her channel. Amazing stuff. She really goes in super deep with the information. With the information that she provides. I think she's doing a great service for Jamaica. And yeah, at some point, I definitely do plan on reaching out to her and doing something. I think that would be a great collaboration. Thank you for the suggestion, Mr. Info. Hey, Shayna, welcome. Thanks for hopping on. Oh, wow. I have an outline for upcoming expo name. I can send you it via email. Okay, awesome. Really look forward to that. I think you came up with, what was the name that you came up with last week, Shayna? I forget, but it was, everyone liked it. Okay, German. Ebony was talking about Irie, not German. Thank you, man. Thank you, Rockman. Kingston 16 asks, any company or people that offer rentals 3 to 6 months at your expo in November? So great question. Reason being is that's kind of one of the motivations behind the expo, is that Negril has a big rental problem in terms of inventory. And one of my goals with the expo is to hopefully attract developers and kind of educate them on the demand that we have here in Negril as it relates to residential accommodations, because we don't have, and I know I sound like, for those of you who continue to join, I know I sound like a broken record, but we don't have that many options as far as modern housing accommodations here in Negril. There is literally only two. There's Aqueducts downtown and Little Bay Country Club. And Little Bay Country Club is completely sold out. And so you can't even get that. So basically you have one option that's off the beach and downtown. And I'm actually going to be working with them quite soon on doing a video and kind of seeing behind the curtain as to why certain things are the way they are with that property, and also perhaps with Negril as a whole. So getting back to my point is that I hope, again, with this expo, to attract developers of that nature. And when I say developers, I don't mean that we're putting 500, 300 rooms. I mean, even if somebody wanted to do a small development of 10 or 20 units, that would be well appreciated and well supported. And I'm not saying that there availability 3 to 6 month rent in Negril. There is, but it's very hard to get, especially during the tourist season. I was talking to Margaret, who is my personal realtor here in Negril, and to me, she knows the Negril real estate market better than most people, I would say, and she's like the Negril expert. And I was looking for rentals for people during this time, and there is nothing because everything is gone. And then you start to move outside of Negril, and your options become fewer and fewer and fewer. And so I do have somebody, like, I'm looking for another place for somebody, and she's basically telling me, come talk to me after March or after April, in April, because there's just nothing. Everybody's renting them out. Who Negril, a big part of the Negril market is repeaters, and many repeaters. They come down here for months and months at a time, 3, 4, 5 months. My neighbors where I live, they are here till, I think they got here in January, and they're going to stay right through April. And they do that every single year. A lot of people at my complex, they do the same thing. They get away from the winter and they come down and they stay for long periods of time. And many people who are staying in Negril in the winter do the same thing. I was talking to I guess she's a patron here. She stayed here at Travelers, but she stays at a property next door, and she stays there, gets the apartment for months at a time, and stays here for a period of time. But you have very limited options as far as that's concerned. Again, I know belaboring the point. I hope to get investors, developers to come to Negril and come to this conference and really take a look, feel, breathe it, understand the vibe, understand the demand that we have here for residential living. And again, also a secondary point to that is that you are looking for 3 to 6 months to come down for rent, but there are people that I think we can attract that will live here year round, and that are looking for modern accommodations and that will pay that, or maybe even looking for an investment opportunity of buying one of these developments and out to people who are going to be living here year round, or maybe they're coming to Negril for a job or work opportunity. And they move here and they'll rent one of those houses. I know a lot of people who bought houses at Little Bay Country Club. That's exactly what they did. They buy it, use it as an investment property, and they rent it out month to month. Or they do Airbnb. I know that is very, very popular. But again, I'm thinking about somebody like myself, and I would, especially when I first moved here, I would definitely have loved to rent somewhere that is new and be able to have modern accommodations. And I know a lot of people feel that way. And I mentioned this story last week, but I have a friend who is actually working at one of these big hotels, and he was staying at one of these new modern here in Negril, one of the 2 modern developments. And he got a studio, and he needed more space because of his family and his kids. And so he ended up moving to Lucy, to the Ocean Point, which, you're looking at about a 40-minute drive. And he exchanged a 10-minute drive to a 40-minute drive because of the lack of accommodations that we have here in Negril. And so that's where he lives, and that's where his family is now. is in Lucy. And so kind of just think about that. And there are many, and he's younger than me. And so there are many people that fall into that category. And I think there are a lot of people that would love to live in Negril and move here and perhaps even set up businesses here. But again, not really many options as far as residential living here. So I know I went on a long rant about that, but I'm a little passionate about it. All right. Ebony, I have been to some beautiful countries, but Jamaica always tops the list. Can't disagree with that at all. Chelsea says, drop your blessing to us in the diaspora. Thank you. Really nice of you to say. Appreciate that. Ocean Grace, Jamaica is calling me home. I am coming. We're looking forward to having you back. Oh, Shana says, it was your words. I just highlighted it. Home away from home expo. Gotcha. High quality is really phenomenal today. Yeah, I think we were doing something wrong with the cameras. So it's one of those things. So I think we figured it out, hopefully. So yeah, glad to hear that you are appreciating the quality that we have here. Man, the sun is coming out, so the background is like super, super white, and it's not really white, but looks pretty cool. Let's try this camera. Oh, same thing. All right, a couple more comments here. So we are selling our property in France and coming to Jamaica soon. We are Dutch. Looking forward to seeing you. Awesome. Looking forward to seeing you too. I'm looking forward to having you down. Keep us in the loop. Sharman says, I'm beginning to reverberate. I was kind of talking really close to the mic, so maybe that was it. Let me know if it's any better. Sorry about that. Sasha says, good sauce drop. Great to know the real estate market here. Definitely. And I can't wait to share the market, my Kingston video, which I plan to release on the 19th of March. Hopefully all being well as far as like the production and editing schedule goes. That's the idea, at least. And some really, really amazing, at least for me, eye-opening information as it relates to not only the Kingston real estate market, but the just general Jamaican real estate art market. And we had like really crazy juxtapositions when in comparison in relation to Negril and Kingston. So I found that super, super interesting. And I really, really am super excited about this series, and I can't wait to share it with you all. Thank you for the comment, Sasha. Appreciate it. T. Johnson says, I wish builders would put up a few developments with modern living options, 2 to 3 bedrooms between 130,000 and 350,000. I agree. There are, so you have so little insight to the Kingston real estate video. Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to try to get something to drink. 1 sec. Sorry about that. Throat's getting a little dry and scratchy from talking. Yeah. So with the Kingston, the Kingston video that I did, you have pricing in those levels, the 100, but definitely not 2 to 3 bedroom. I mean, some of them, you'll get a 1 bedroom studio depending on the location, which is interesting, but it's Kingston, right? Do I think you can put something up here in Negril? Maybe not in Negril proper, so to speak. Thank you. Maybe not in Negril proper, so to speak, but definitely like 150. Let me do the math on that real quick, because they price their prices in Jamaican. So 150,000 is 22 million. Okay, yeah. So you can get a 2-bedroom at Ocean Point, which is in Lucy, which is the example that I gave about my friend who recently moved there. And you can get a 2-bedroom there for basically that exact price, 150,000 US, or 22.5 million Jamaican, I think. Yeah, 22,500,000 Jamaican. So that's doable, but that's outside in Negril. But it's a modern house. It's gated community. You have a small front yard, and then you also have a backyard, and then you can get 3-bedroom as well. So very, very, very doable as far as that pricing range goes. So it's possible in Negril. I do think it's possible in Negril, but maybe not. Definitely not on the beach. I don't think that's going to happen. Plus, there are not that many beach options as far as land goes, but it's there. It's there, but um, there is a big development that's happening in Green Island, but I believe that's more hotel. There's another small development in Little London. Man, I'm sorry, I'm even bringing it up because I don't remember the name of it, but it is on the way to Jam West. If you're familiar with Jam West, which is here in Westmoreland, I did a video on them as well. But on the way there, they have a small development, 27 units, I believe. I will for the next live, I will post that. I haven't been inside the houses, but it looks pretty cool. From the infrastructure and the design, the website looks pretty cool. And you're talking about 20 minutes from the grill. I would say 20 minutes from the beach. So that's also a viable option. But that kind of just goes to show you the development is kind of happening outside of Negril. And I'm still trying to get to the bottom as to why we don't have more developments in Negril. DJ Mystic Vibes, are you looking forward to Dream Weekend? From the perspective of people coming to the hotel, for sure, but not from the perspective of me participating in the events. I've done Dream Weekend quite a few times, and I've always had a great time, but no longer part of my lifestyle kind of thing. But they do put on amazing parties. I think they had it last year, which was, in the pandemic. I'm pretty sure they're going to do it this year, obviously as things calm down. And I know those guys are really looking forward to really ramping things back up and getting things back to quote unquote normal. So I think somebody asked me that last week, whether we're going to have Dream Weekend this year or not. I believe so. I'm almost certain we are. And yeah, I think we're looking forward to it. And I want to say the town of Negril, the community, Jamaica, definitely, because that is to me, that's a pretty huge indication that we are starting to move forward and starting to get past things and learning to live with COVID. Thanks for the comment question, DJ Mystic Vibes. Hutchinson Johnson says, look at that place. Wow, nice. From Albany, New York, St. Thomas. I went to school in Albany, SUNY Albany, UA. Thanks for the comment. Sasha says aqueducts in Negril is cool as well. Yep, I think so. I was there a couple of weeks ago visiting, doing a site visit before we actually do some filming over there. Benjamin says, hey, Throp and everyone else, good afternoon. That view is gorgeous. Thanks for joining, Benjamin. I'm glad we were able to get it up and running. And for those just joining, we actually were out there on the deck, but it started raining and we had to move inside quickly. So I'm glad we were able to get this shot with the long focal lens that we have here. So at least you guys are seeing a little bit of water. Yes, the entertainment industry is hurting Jamaica. Yeah, I know it's really, really tough on those guys. I've been talking to them. I've been reading articles. And so glad things are slowly starting to come back in that industry. It's been super rough on them. T Isles there, T Johnson. That's the name of it. West Isle, Little London. And that's the name of the development that I was talking about in Little London. I am familiar with it. I've seen it. I drove there with my dad a couple of weeks in early February, I want to say. And like I said, I didn't go in any of the homes, but I thought it was pretty nice. The layout, small community, gated community. I don't know too much of the area. The best thing, like it's near Jam West, which is of course a plus, and it's a nice attraction to be able to go to. But I don't know the area too much as far as things to do, so I can't really speak to that. But as I said before, it's only 20 minutes from the beach, 20 minutes from the grill. So and I was also speaking with somebody yesterday about that whole area. Oh, what is it called? It's called Little Bay. So that not to be confused with Little Bay Country Club, but Little Bay, kind of going all the way back there, is supposedly set to be developed in the next few years. But there's a lot of rumors stirring, and I don't want to add to that. But just for the most part, from what I understand, there's a good chance there's a lot of chatter, put it that way, of there being a development in that area. So I can't really speak to West Isle that much. I haven't been inside. I haven't seen the units. The pictures look great. The architectural renditions look great. But I do plan on going there and checking it out sometime soon. The production schedule is actually starting to tighten up a lot, which is good. I love doing this stuff, so I don't mind at all. But we'll definitely find some time to squeeze them in. Dosey Dose. This is Brett from Orange Hill. 89 to 87. Hello, Negril. What's up, man? Thanks for joining. Benjamin asked, does Jamaica have business conferences, tourism? PR has plenty. Puerto Rico, I'm assuming. Negril looks like it would be perfect for that. Yeah, I agree. They do have different conferences. They have a diaspora. They have a couple of diaspora conferences. They do have investment conferences. Somebody had mentioned to me about one that they went to many years ago. So they do have conferences. So I'm trying to do my own version of that in November, as I mentioned earlier, and I will definitely have that. I'll continue to speak about it on these Sunday lives, as well as eventually get you guys the website and have all the information there. But it is more or less an investment conference, but it's really built around the guests that I've had on my video podcast, and that's going to be in November. And of course, I'm biased. I'm not going to be shy about that. And, I want people to invest in Negril, more than anything else, because I think there's just tremendous potential here. And I know I talk about it a lot, but I really want to talk about it from a fact base, and then also you all listening to the experts, and then being able to come here and have the opportunity to come here, put your feet on the ground, talk with the experts directly, see the opportunities that I am talking about, get an understanding of the market, get an understanding and vibe of Negril, and you yourself will see opportunities, I'm sure. Especially those who are entrepreneurs or have ambitions of being entrepreneurs, are looking for a place to, invest a few dollars in their country and in their home country. So that's my, another goal, I should say, of the conference. Thank you for that comment, Benjamin. And question. DJ Mystic Vibes, I wouldn't mind more of an in-depth breakdown of the business model with the young lady from the South Coast Villas. Oh, Emma. Okay, cool. Yeah, I can get her on again. I know a lot of people who are interested in her model and what she's doing. And yeah, I'll ask if she's willing to share and come on. I'm pretty sure we can go out there. You don't got to convince me. It's not that hard to convince me to go out to Treasure Beach and stay at one of the villas that she has out there. So yeah, I'll see if we can talk to her about doing a second podcast, and if she'd be willing to share some insight into how she conducts her business. Benjamin says we don't have all inclusive though due to our public beach law, but Jamaica is only 3 hours from the East Coast. Business travel conferences is another ideal source of revenue. No, I agree. I think that's a great idea. I know Kingston gets a lot of business traffic. They have a lot of business oriented or business centric hotels out there, but yeah, would love to get business travelers here in Negril. but we got to think, what would a business person come to Negril for? What kind of business would they be conducting? Obviously, you've got the development side of things, but I'm also thinking, and I mentioned this many times before, but even like digital nomads, I think Negril is like the perfect place for that. And then with those nomads, they need support services, they need brick and mortar businesses as well. And especially with the conversation that I had with Irija, the latest video podcast that I did, we get into that a lot about the many services that Negril is lacking and the many opportunities that are here. And this is just all right. We're back. Sorry about that, guys. We lost a little bit. So we're talking about the investment. Benjamin brought up the idea of the investment conference and it being an ideal source of revenue, which I totally agree. And I was also saying that, what would businessmen and women come here for? But I was just advocating for digital nomads and working here, and also creating support services and businesses for those workers from abroad and maybe even from Jamaica, who, Jamaicans coming from different parts of the island and either living here or just staying here for extended periods of time. Thanks for that, Benjamin. Dosi Dosa, I think you should enter real estate. What about West Cliff development? Yeah, I think that's a great place to develop, especially if you're familiar with Deep West End, like past the Lighthouse, past Rick's Cafe, all the way back there. There's a lot of land available for development there, and I think that's a great place. And they were actually thinking about doing that at one point in time, developing there. But this was right before the financial crisis, and there was a big company. I think they were based out of the UK, as a matter of fact, the development company. But it didn't work out because, again, the financial crisis. But it just goes to show you that people have seen an opportunity back there, and back there in the West End, that is. And I still think the opportunity is still there for development. Thank you for that, Dosey Dose. Hutchinson Johnson says, Jamaica need people like you doing a good job. I was there back in December promoting Jamaica as well. Awesome. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Happy Sunday, Sophia. Dosey Joe said, I bought oceanfront property on the cliffs, West End, Hogland, 15,000 an acre investment. Wow, that sounds good. Yes, 1987. Okay, you bought it in 1987. I see. We actually have some land there too, that's undeveloped. But that is exactly where I'm talking about, a Hog Haven, and I don't know how many hundreds of acres are back there, but depending on where you buy as well, like the views are absolutely incredible. You're not on the water, but especially like if you're on the mountain or the hill, so to speak. The views are absolutely incredible. And we were actually considering selling our land, but I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad we didn't do that. But yeah, that's kind of exactly where I was talking as far as opportunity in the Deep West End. You froze. Yes, I know I froze. Thank you, Country Gal. Dosey Dose Cannabis Conference, huge business, Vegas, Spain, Germany, California, Holland. Great point. So we actually had a cannabis conference here. Man, this was probably it's the official name is the Roots Reggae Fest, but the first year that they did it, I believe, don't quote me, I think this was 2017 around, and or maybe 2018, I'm not sure, but they had the cannabis conference and they did the Roots Reggae Fest. They partnered with High Times magazine. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's probably the undisputed weed or marijuana magazine in the world, recognized. And they did a collaboration with the Roots Reggae Fest. And I think that was 2015, because that's when Jamaica decriminalized marijuana. And so now you can carry up to 2 ounces on you, and then you can have 5 plants per residential home. And then you have different licensing that you can apply for through the CLA, the Cannabis Licensing Authority, and everything from transportation to R&D to retail, all these different opportunities that you have. So this was the first that was the first conference that they had of that nature. That was back in, again, believe 2015, 2016 is when they had that here. And a lot of players came into the picture. And I remember we had so many Canadians coming to us here at the hotel that wanted to partner with us, because one of the stipulations that the Cannabis Licensing Authority has is that the business has to be 50% Jamaican owned. And I think that's just a wonderful idea and prerequisite for being in that business, is in making sure that it's kept Jamaican, somewhat majority or at least half Jamaican. And so we had, and I say Canadians because they're just from a Western perspective, they're just so much more advanced than, say, America is in as far as cannabis goes. So they already were legalized / decriminalized marijuana in Canada. And so these guys kept having meetings with us, and we didn't do it. We're hoteliers at the end of the day, and it's not to say that we're not interested in maybe in the future getting into that. But I know at that time we had passed on partnerships with other established Canadian marijuana companies that were out there. But great comment there, Dosey Dose. Appreciate that. Okay. Rockman says, "Hey Throp, did that long skinny trip of commercial land in West End, did it sell? The commercial strip in the West End. I don't know where that is. I'm not familiar. Can you tell me where that might be on the West End? Is it the one that I was talking about a couple of weeks ago? Is that what you're talking about? How many acres is it? I think it was 3 acres, 2 or 3 acres. And I believe, and tell me if I'm making this up, but there is a long skinny piece of strip that I visited a couple of weeks ago, and it was selling for, I think, $600,000 US for 2 or 3 acres, I believe. If that's what you're talking about. But if that's what you're talking about, no, as far as I know, it has not been sold. But I am going to get around there and bring it to the attention of the channel at some point, if that's what you're talking about. I believe that's what you're talking about. Thank you, Rockman. Mr. Info, affordable housing and good school for kids K through 12, and college will make people and family move and invest and grow more. Yes, I agree. So I think that's what we're missing as well, right? Is that we want to attract young families. I think that is just like in my mind, like one of the strongholds of any thriving community is getting young families getting young families in here, but you need amenities and you need support for those young families. And one of them is definitely having, we don't have a high school in Negril. We don't have K through 12. So if your kid goes here, they're going to be traveling and wants to go to high school. They're going to be traveling on a bus, more than likely public transportation, unless you're going to drop them off yourself. 30, 40 minutes to school, 30, 40 minutes coming back from school. That's a huge setback for a young family. Nobody wants their kid traveling that far if they can avoid it. You're not going to move somewhere where you're going to have to do that, right? I think and I could be wrong. Maybe some people do that. Manning's is one of the best schools in Jamaica, and that's in Savlamar, and you're looking at a 30, 40-minute drive from Negril. Maybe people are moving closer to Sav so their kids can go there, and it would be less of a commute. But that's a very, very good high school that we have in the quote unquote area, but it's still pretty far. So we do need a high school here at the end of the day if we really want to attract these young families to come to Negril. So I will always advocate for that, and I'm sure it's going to happen. But it's one of those things, like, if you don't push the envelope, so to speak, and continuously bring it to the forefront, it's probably going to take longer than expected, or perhaps maybe not even ever happen. So good point, Mr. Info. And I also said this before. It's like, I think we also need some social programs here. There are a few, but these are all, and maybe it does have to be done privately, but these are all privately done, mostly nonprofit organizations that have these kind of after school type programs. But we do need, stuff for the kids to do after school. We need sports organizations, that sort of things. We also need just even, different amenities, like we were talking about this with Irie about, coffee shops, places for people to go to network and meet other people, meet other young people as well. We have entertainment, we have beach parties, we have live bands, we have a club. But these other things, not everybody is interested in those things. So I think there's just a lot of opportunity for businesses of that nature sometime in the future. Oh, Rockman responding. You said right on the water, 3 small structures on it. Across from the hardware store. I think I know what you're talking about. I think I know where you're talking about, I should say, Rockman. But I don't know if it was sold. I am not familiar. What? Thank you for your comment. Okay. Anybody got any other questions? The rain is starting and stopping here. It stopped now. We had people move in a little while ago because they went back out because the rain had stopped. But now it is no more. It has stopped. Yeah. So that's kind of all I have for you guys. I don't know if you have any questions or comments, additional questions or comments. But we've been going almost an hour and 40 minutes, but I don't mind. I really do enjoy doing these things. Oh, somebody just emailed me about a tablet. Very cool. So this is good to know that I just set up the email address, throp@thropmedia.com. So I think this is the first email that I ever received on there. So thank you. Glad to know that it's working. Awesome. I won't say who it is, but appreciate the email. So yeah, you can always email me at throp@thropmedia.com. I'll throw that in the comments. And so if you have any questions or comments, you can always reach out to me at this email address. And I put it in the comments there. Hi Throp, can a homestead property change to a commercial property? I would imagine so. I would imagine so that you can change the zoning. You probably will have to talk to the, what do you call it? It's called Nagalpa for Negril. So that's the Negril Green Island the planning authority, Negril Green Island Planning Authority. So that's like if you're doing something like that has to go through local government. I know, like the majority of the beach road is zoned for hotels, and yet there's a hospital there that, like, the same drone shots that we were looking at earlier. In addition to that, I know there was an ice company, producing company, that was put up, if you know where Cosmos is, on Norman Manley Boulevard. So this is going further north, almost into Hanover, almost right at the Hanover border, near Long Bay, kind of across the street from Beaches Negril. They have a ice, I wouldn't say factory, but they have an ice making company there, and I'm sure they had to get rezoned for that, because that's kind of, I would assume, some that falls under the manufacturing umbrella. So my point is that I think it's possible. I think it's possible to kind of get rezoned in that sense. Agwan King Spotlight, thanks for joining, man. Always appreciate your support and your presence. What about the housing videos of New Kingston you promised? Oh yeah, I talked about it earlier. It's coming. So we're looking at hopefully, fingers crossed, March 19th for the first episode. And this is just kind of planning out the production schedule that we have and the editing schedule that we have here with the team. So looking at March 19th as the release date for the first episode in the series. So yep, still, that's like the number one priority. Really, really excited to share with you all that Kingston development series. Donna says, this podcast inspired me to make a Jamaican dinner for this evening. Oxtail, rice and peas, and making a sweet potato pudding for dessert. That sounds absolutely amazing. Yummy, 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 yummy. I haven't had oxtail in some time. So now you got me thinking, like, where can I get some oxtail tonight for dinner? That's awesome. I'm happy to hear, Donna, that you got inspired to do that. I love oxtail, one of my favorites, one of my absolute favorites. Mr. Info, I would move tomorrow if Negril had those amenities. Maybe I need to help get them set up. Let me switch to the camera one for this. Yes, Mr. Info, you do. And that, to me, that's what it's take, honestly. It's gonna take individuals like you, like myself, to bring those amenities. And I can tell you, I promise you, you will get the support. But you just need, I was going to say outside the box thinking, but just more of, like, if you're in a major city, I don't know where you live or where you're from, but businesses that are working, I will say, in Brooklyn, and like, I say Brooklyn because that's what I'm familiar with. Maybe even South Florida and Miami, bring them here. They will do well. And I'm not saying, like, of course, do your research and everything like that, your due diligence, blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, these type of business, and then of course, if you are thinking of doing something, Mr. Info, or anybody who's out there, I'd be more than happy to consult with you. Ask me questions. And then I will always bounce these ideas off of my own network. People I've had on the show, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I talk about these things all the time, and that's why with people in Negril. So I talk about all of these different ideas with people all the time. So this is what gives me the confidence, because I'm talking to knowledgeable people who have been here for a long time, also people who have a vested interest in Negril. And many of these people I speak with, like, that would be a great idea. This would be a great idea. Why don't you do this? And so I will continue to advocate for this. And so, yes, Mr. Info, I think it would be a really good idea for you to bring one of these concepts to Negril. And I think that's what it's going to take. It's just people just need to take the first step in some of these projects. And at some point I will, honestly, I want to be one of these people that talk about it, that don't talk about it, but they're also being about it and putting action behind my words. And so at some point I will do that. So thank you for your comment with that. When Rod says, speaking of amenities, is there a skate park in Negril? No, there is not a skate park, but there was an organization, and I don't know if anybody from Negril is in this comment in the chat here, but there is an organization that was looking to do a skate park downtown, and I believe they were going to do it for free. I believe they were going to do it for free. And I'm really not sure what happened, but I think that is such an amazing, amazing idea, especially for young people to get into. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy or anything like that, but just, getting young people into skating and having somewhere that they could kind of hang out and do their thing, or BMXing, whatever it is. And I know I loved doing that stuff growing up, but unfortunately, no, we don't have that. But our downtown park, Norman Manley Park, Beach Park, is slated to be developed. I even believe the money has actually already been earmarked for that, but it hasn't been done at this point in time. So I think that would be a great addition to the plans to have a skate park down there as well. But fortunately, no skate park. Ebony says there's a skate park in Kingston, and there's also one in Portland, I believe, and I mentioned this place before, Jamnesia, which is a surf hostel. You can go there to learn to surf. I believe they have a skate park there as well. I've never been there, but it looks pretty awesome, actually, the skate park. I haven't skated in quite some time, but I would try it if I did ever stay there, which I plan to at some point in time. Oh, Mr. Info says he lives in Atlanta. So yeah, I'm sure you see some great restaurants and some great businesses that you patronize all the time in Atlanta. And I think, bringing some of those ideas and some of those concepts to Jamaica, and specifically to Negril, again, I really think you would definitely get the support. You see, Donna, everybody wants a plate. Ebony's saying dinner sounds delicious. Can I get a plate? I'm with you. You can't have our mouths watering like this and not give us an option to get some. All right. Okay, no more comments. All right, I think we're going to start to wrap up here. I have no problem hanging out, but I'm not seeing any other questions coming in. Hopefully next Sunday we'll be able to get out and kind of be all the way outside, because we have like all these cameras. We're trying to do a high level production today, but the rain kind of messed us up. But again, I'm glad we have this long lens that got you a view of the sea. And I think there's like a military boat out there. Swing to the military boat. Ali, swing to the military boat. Swing to the boat, the big boat. Ali's gonna switch it for us here. Oh yes, yes. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. There's like some sort of Navy boat out there. The Navy. Yeah. So that's the Sea Beast you see there. That's the one that's owned by the dive shop. And then there's I think that's a Jamaican Navy vessel. I see it every now and then. I only know or think that it is from Battleship, and that's like a ship from Battleship. So the board game. But yeah, that thing is chilling out there. Not sure exactly what they're doing. Sasha says we need a Starbucks in Negril with Blue Mountain coffee also as an option besides roast. Totally agree. I mean, I think that place would be packed out. Not packed out, but it'd be well patronized. I think it would need a place for people to kind of sit and hang out. And I would think that people are considering, the investors in Starbucks Jamaica are considering coming to Negril. And they're probably looking at different demographics or analytics to make their move here for sure. But even if it's not a Starbucks, and obviously we have a lot of fans of coffee in here, but even if it's like that, your mom and pop local pop coffee shop with that kind of Starbucksy vibe, if you will, would do real well. I mean, look at Patsy's. They're doing extremely well. And I did a video podcast with them, a few months ago, and they're doing well. They have a great vibe. I want to go back there and do another live one of these days. But those types of places, people enjoy going. And of course, like, people like switching it up, going to one coffee shop or another coffee shop or a bookstore, whatever it is. Good suggestion, Sasha. Great suggestion. King Spotlight. Are there available lands to grow or build a new downtown for Negril? I was speaking to a Negril native recently, and they said Point Village is the real downtown. I don't know about that. Point Village is like, it's northern Negril. You definitely need a car. Once you get past, like, once you kind of get that far north, you definitely need a car. It definitely is not the downtown of Negril. There are no stores around there. There are no restaurants around there. There was the closest one at one point was Island Lux, but that place has been shut down. The next restaurant I would say outside of the hotels would be Matthews coming back down south. And then, Skylark would be, I would say, coming south from Point Village is the first non-all-inclusive hotel that you can go to and patronize. So, yeah, definitely Point Village is definitely not downtown. But moving downtown Negril, that is some of the most valuable land that there is in Negril. And unfortunately, it is occupied majority by squatters. And there are plans to relocate them. And they've been there for years. I want to say decades at this point. But there are plans to relocate them to other locations. I'm not sure where. I don't know where in the process that whole thing is. But at some point, that downtown has to be developed. And I'm talking about Negril Road. So if you're familiar with Negril downtown, where the Texaco and I forget the name of the other gas station, but the two gas stations that are there, those are like downtown Negril. And land on both sides. So you got the morass side, and then you got, I guess, the road side, if you will. Both sides are screaming for attention, are screaming for development, and that's going towards Little London, South Lamar. Hope that answers your question there. Country Gal, always motivated to look at JA real estate after listening to you. Awesome. We got more of these real estate videos coming. I can't wait to share them. Is there a Cafe Blue in Negril? No, there isn't. There used to be a coffee shop near, I don't know if you know the Harley Davidson store. I think it was right next to it. I've never been inside, but the business has been shut down for some time now. So no, we don't have a Cafe Blue here. Janice says that ship has been out there for almost a year now. I saw it when we were there during the summer. Yeah, it goes and comes. I'm not sure, again, why it's there, but I'm assuming it's protecting us and stopping certain things from coming in onto our shores. Elvis White says, how is training coming along, running? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm almost back running full time. I'm running 6 days a week now. I did my longest run in probably, almost 3 months now, I would say, to this morning. So my body's still not used to it. So I'm a little tired and getting back into it, which is exciting. I feel more normal, if you will. Definitely don't feel right when I don't start my day with a run. So excited about that, excited to be getting back into it and kind of getting back into my normal routine. But knees feeling good. Fitness is definitely not there. But yeah, the body is just taking some time to get used to it. Thank you very much for that question, Elvis. I appreciate your interest and concern. Donald Hemming says, what about GPS work in Jamaica? Yeah, GPS works great here. I would say with the caveat. So, GPS works great for you, getting you from to Kingston, from Negril to Kingston, Treasure Beach, wherever have you. However, I know when I was in Kingston a couple years back, maybe it gotten better, but the GPS had me going through some really, really rough neighborhoods in Kingston. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And I knew this is one of those things you just don't belong there, and you knew it, and everybody knew what is this strange car doing here kind of thing. And so kind of got to be careful of that. One time it the GPS did have me when I was going to Treasure Beach, and I know the road to Treasure Beach, but I was with friends and I was listening to the GPS. This thing had me going down like I don't have a truck or anything like that. I have a regular car, and it had me going down some back roads, unfinished roads. And I remember getting to this one house and this one road. It wasn't even a road. It was like a path that like Hansel and Gretel created kind of thing. And we got to this road and I'm like, this path, I'm like, man, should I drive down here? And then all of a sudden these dogs kept coming out and they were barking. And we just went to try to go to this house to ask them, like, should we go to this down this road? And, luckily the lady was like very nice. She's like, no, you can't go down there. You'll never make it down. It's probably like a cliff or something like that. And anyway, she redirected us back and we eventually found our way. And usually it's like an hour and a half drive from Negril to Treasure Beach tops. And I think we were definitely over 3 hours at that point. So it works. It definitely works. And I think it's gotten better, but it's definitely better off if you could, if you know the roads a little bit, or at least the main arteries. But when I'm in Kingston, especially for the last trip that I did in Kingston, I was using GPS for everything. I was using Google Maps for every single thing that every time I went somewhere, I needed to go somewhere. And when I was working with the realtors, I was just like, tell me the address. And I popped it in. Perfect. Never got lost. Never gotten into any sketchy neighborhoods. This was, 2-3 weeks ago when I was in Kingston. So GPS works beautifully here. And that's Google Maps. I don't know about Apple Maps, how accurate it is, but I just prefer Google Maps in general. Thank you for that. Thank you for that question. Rockman says, is there any crypto buzz in the grill? Can I buy a used motorbike with Bitcoin? I don't know. I think we've talked about accepting crypto as payment for the hotel. We don't, but I think we should. But I don't know. I know of individuals investing in crypto down here. I don't know of any businesses in particular that are accepting that as payment. But I am going to keep my ears perked for this and find out to see if any other places, if any businesses are accepting. Good question. Really, really good question, Rockman. Ocean Gray says, thanks, Rob. Enjoyed the chat. Thank you for coming, Ocean. Really always appreciate your presence here. Linda Frazier says, are visitors still restricted to Resilient Corridor? If we come, I still want to get our schools in Grange Hill and Dias. I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure. I know we don't have to fill out that travel authorization form. I know you still do need a negative COVID test. I will get back to you on that. Does anybody in the comment section or in the chat knows whether you still have to stay in Resilient Corridor? I'm not sure. I need my like Jamie, from Joe Rogan. Like he's like, Jamie, look that up. Jamie, take a look. Like I need one of those. But I'm not sure of that. I will get back to you and I will try to remember to post the answer to that question. Ingrid says, wow, that is scary thought. You have to be careful with those GPS. Honestly, technology will have you going to some crazy places. But I'm happy that it was in the middle of the day and not at night. Oh, Anne-Marie, like my Hansel and Gretel reference. All right, cool. I think, yeah, we're going to close out here. We are at an hour 58 at this time. This is always fun. The rain is still going. I don't think you can see it, but I see some people in the water enjoying the rain. And it's kind of a cool time to get in there, get in the ocean. It's a very light rain, but there's just a lot of overcast. And it looks like that Navy ship moved. Maybe they heard us, but it's off there in the distance to the right. I don't think you can see it on the camera though. Jenny, she has a question. Let's see what it is. What kind of business would the local people of Negril benefit from? I can see the power of the dollar coming from visitors who like to do something that serves Jamaicans as of various levels. Not sure. Good question. Oh, there's a Navy ship. There you go. Good question. Um, and what do you mean by benefit from? Do you mean in terms of patronizing it? Because I think like if you're doing something that is for locals, I think you have to do, and I could be wrong. I think you have to do something that's volume based, and what I mean by that, that is more affordable, but you get more people coming in. And when I also think of benefits, I also think of like something adding to the socializing options that are here. Like I always thought a movie theater would be great here, but I'm sure that's a very expensive undertaking and that you have to charge like a certain price. But like if you can do a movie theater and you can charge say $500, $700 max Jamaican per person per ticket, I think that would be good. But I don't know if that's financially visa viable. And then you probably need to get in like, you know, 75 people per session. I don't know. I really don't know the numbers on something like that and how much it costs to run. But I will say anything that you do here, like if you can do it in a way that you have some sort of utility cost saving strategy involved, whether that goes both for water and both for for electricity. They're both extremely expensive. But from a general principle standpoint, yeah, I just think that if you do something like that for locals, at least from a social standpoint, it should be something that is more volume based than anything else. At least that's my thought. I'm not sure what other business will be good for locals. Um, Maybe like I think food is always good, but there are a lot of food options available that are pretty affordable as well. Um, Housing would be a good affordable housing. I think would be a good one. These are just different things that are thinking of off the top of my head, but I think I need to just put some more thought into that. But I like where your head is at, Janice. Like that's the type of thinking, thought, and questions that it should be in our heads. What kind of business would benefit from locals benefit from? I don't know. And I always think of like how can we empower locals and especially young people? How can we empower them to give them and empower them to create opportunities for themselves? Those are always thoughts that are running through my head and trying to figure out answers and options and opportunities in regards to that. But yes, more thought needs to go into this, I think. Thank you for that, Janice. Appreciate the insightful question. Robert Joseph says, you benefit from security. Without security, you cannot run a business and grow. Absolutely. And I'm assuming when you say security, security, well, I guess there's two ways I'm thinking of it. Like security is like securing your business, but I'm also thinking like security of the community itself, like in it being a safe place in general. And yeah, that's definitely one of the first things I think you need in any safe in any thriving business community is you need to feel safe and you need to feel okay, more than anything else. Like that's number one. Like once you have safety, then you could kind of move on from there and you can kind of build on that foundation. So I totally agree with you on that. Donna says Jamaica has such great cuisine, needs to have more culinary tours. I agree. And I also think we need to have, I'm going to put this back to camera one because this is when we get serious. I also think that we need to have more variety of culinary options that we have here. And I know there are a lot of chefs, entrepreneurs, restaurateurs that are starting or wanting to start businesses. We have many Jamaican restaurants in Negril. Trust me. Could we use another one? I don't know, maybe. But I will say that if you did something different and you brought a different type of cuisine here, and I'm talking about a standalone, non-hotel affiliated restaurant, if you do it well, you will be supported. If you do it well, you will be supported. And I believe it was last week or maybe a couple of weeks ago, somebody brought up the idea of having like tacos. Like, I love tacos. I love burritos. I would be there all the time, especially if you had a delivery service. I would want it to be delivered here to the hotel probably every other day. When I'm in New York, I probably have a beef burrito every couple of days. I love them. And I know other people would appreciate that. And even I have friends here all the time that say, I'm kind of getting tired of rice and peas. I'm kind of getting tired of jerk chicken. As much as I love those, I also appreciate the variety and also want to try something new. So if you are a restaurateur or a chef, I would say consider doing something different and bringing something different to the table. And again, you have to do it well. I don't think you can come in if you're going to do, especially one of these, I wouldn't say fancy, but if you're going to do something different, don't do it halfway. You have to go all in. And I would say your approach, and like this is my mindset with it, and you can take it how you want it, but like your approach is like, if I'm going to be in a competitive market like Mr. Info is from Atlanta, or are you going to be in a competitive market like New York or Brooklyn or Manhattan, wherever, you want to bring that same tenacity and that same level of professionalism. You know, you want to bring that same quality to Jamaica and to Negril. And I don't think you should go anywhere short of that, and you will do well. So that's just my take on the on the cuisine and different restaurant options that we hopefully see in the future. Robert says I nailed it. Thank you. Okay, people are saying bye. See you next time. Thank you for joining, Ingrid. All right, I think we're gonna call it there. Thank you guys so much, and if you haven't already, of course, always hit that like button. It really does help on these videos. And if you haven't seen the video that I did with Irie, please check it out. I think she did a great job. For those who are considering moving to Jamaica, I think she did a great job of just explaining and sharing her experience, as well as giving some great advice. We have Dat Me Said TV collaboration, Jamaican YouTuber from the UK. We have that dropping this week, hoping for tomorrow, hoping no technical issues today. And you have that to look forward to. And then we have the Kingston series coming out on March 19th. But even between the March 19th and now, we will still have more video podcasts coming out, but a lot of exciting content coming up for the channel. Don't want to take up any more of your time. Sorry we weren't out on the beach, but next week, hopefully the weather cooperates with us and we will be out there on the beach, and we'll give you multiple angles of what's happening and give you an idea of what the vibe is like here in Negril. So thank you guys very much for joining. Let me switch to the camera. Thank you all for joining. It's always a pleasure sitting down and hanging out with you all on these Sunday afternoon live streams. And we will be back next week, same time, same place. And I will see you in the next one. Peace, everyone.